And map 2 gets underway. Nouns snatching away Inferno from the evil geniuses, hot off the trot of besting other EG in a qualifier now. They like the taste of EG blood and they're out for more, and they've got an empty site. EG full gambled on a B take. So this isn't even a retake setup, it's just a not a setup.
Yes. Well, George gets tagged down to 17 HP. Now they're on a retake, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it. And the bomb's taken away here. Still not really set up for that detail. Now Walker's going to pop the flashbang out. Get up to CT. Around for a frag. More than 2 at CT, but 2 right on back for the EG squad. They're at a disadvantage, though, and that will likely end.
Walker just gonna pray and defuse, and he's knifed down as Carson gets himself a fat extra stack of dollary dues by the might of his blade. $1,500 to be exact. He could drop an op right off the rip, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. Does he drop it or does he keep it?
I think he keeps it.
Oh, he's keeping it. He looked at Cynic. He said, "Hey, you want this?" Cynic said, "You got the better spawn."
He does? I don't necessarily like the op in this situation, though, because, well, one, it's really expensive, and two, you're going up against pistols, so you can get overloaded pretty easily. And look at this. Junior takes down Cynic with the Scout. That's an upgrade available for EG should they push down the ramp, and it looks like Rush wants to do so. And you see Nouns, they're trying to find the space here, but a flashbang pushes them off from B, and they're scrambling.
And here's the problem with the op, right? I mean, normally Nouns probably would have just ripped it straight in towards B.
Exactly.
Instead, you have Carson looking for the pick. Slows down their desired pace of play. I think that's one of those situations where you're just saying, how often do you get a knife and a pistol round?
Yeah.
You gotta buy it. It's the law.
I just would have rathered an AK with full util. I get it. You know, you want to try and see what the op can make an impact, but that's usually if you're going for a mid play.
Big position.
Yeah.
CJ's getting mid for free. No one's contesting it. They're not even looking in from ticket. There are smokes up, to be fair, but now CJ's gotten his way all the way around in the ladder.
They gotta wait for CJ.
They're watching it from Junior on site, but the problem is if this contact comes into the apps, might be enough to distract them. Hexed. Let's see here. And indeed, vision's off the catwalk, but it's back just in time. Junior, oh my god. Nothing but headshots for Junior here on the Scout. Still, he is low. He's done a lot, but is it enough? Looking darn sure like it. Carson's trying to back away. He's got this AWP. He's trying to reroute 20 seconds. I don't think he has time for this foot race.
No. He won't get to the bomb site. He just wants to save the AWP, and he'll be able to achieve that. But Junior, my goodness.
Oh.
3 beautiful headshots from the Scout. He is very lethal with that, and he actually didn't get as many frags as he's used to on that first map of Inferno. Almost always at the top of the scoreboard for EG, but that time it was Rush, and that was part of the reason why Nouns were so successful, is they were able to hold Junior back, especially on that CT side where he likes to go for those opening picks. But right there, you can see why he's been the best player in the league throughout this season. Are you kidding me?
Okay, Junior starting it off just the way he ended the last round.
Okay.
Ripping shots off the Scouts. Still, B-Wills answers back with that AWP, and he's put in great work. Now Marky's found more in towards mid. Rush. A trade. He just tries to go off the flashbang, and he's lost his life, and they've just fully committed into this mid fight. It's all about it. The HG's finding damage, but B-Wills hunting them down for his 4th kill of the round.
Okay, back and forth we go. Nouns forcing up, and Evil Genius is going a little too aggressive in towards mid. That's something they like to do on Mirage, even though EG's typically more of a patient team. They enjoy going for an early pincer onto mid to try and see if they can do damage. Just that Nouns were reading that and were ready. Well done from B-Wills. And now EG go for the force buy back. So we'll see if they can continue these force buy wars and take a round and tie it up at 2, or if Nouns can calm things down. He will stick into that op, so Cynic not running it again. Maybe he had a good spawn, but as it stands, he could trade it out with Cynic Khalil. See if that happens. Carson going to toss some util in towards connector. It does take George down to 86. And Nouns have full control of mid.
Nice find early on in towards Con. Sledding for the site player. Rush trying to reposition, gets caught in the act. They're a little bit quicker than he anticipated. And at this point, it seems like EG might just be trying to withdraw, and indeed they are. B-Wells with the op alone. That's a risky position for the big green. They don't know he's here, so he gets one more. Continue to put pressure on to these saving players. Certainly don't want to give this gun away, but B-Will's hot on the shot, doesn't seem to be worried about it. He shouldn't be, apparently. Kid golly.
Oh man, this is what makes Nouns so very fun to watch, right? They're not afraid of taking fights that usually you would say, well, don't do that. B-Will says, I don't care. I want to get 3 frags. And he just charges in with the deagle, even puts the op away and manages to get the shot. So Nouns take a third, and Evil Geniuses, I mean, they forced up in that round as mentioned, so they're just going to be on the dry pistols. USPs here could try for some cheeky aggression, and they are going to boost up in towards ladder. 2 players going there. Rush, he's probably going to stay in this window for now, but we'll see. Cynic can get caught off here. Has to be careful. No reinforcements in sight. That could gift a Galil to the Evil Geniuses. He spots one out, gives away his position as a result. Comes around the corner, gets one on Walco and the second on Hex. Down to 16 HP, but he is pretty comfortable.
Rush USP ace for the century. Not going to happen in this round.
No. Decidedly not.
Guns will be back out for the Evil Geniuses. No up, though. It's not exactly going to be ideal. Utility is going to be limited as well. This is far from a great buy for them. Walko even going down to the farmhouse just to get a little bit more to work with here. And you get into that situation where your first, I mean, your rifle buy here is not going to be great. You know, Nouns have a lot of momentum on their side, and they are making this punishing.
I'm EG, I even go instead of fully investing.
That's a tough pill to swallow right there. Hopper, forgetting that his first bullet doesn't just kill, but George is able to trade it out, and George goes for one more. Marky wanted to try and find that frag, but he overextended just a pinch. Speaking of which, Carson out solo dolo on a site means that the man advantage stays for the Evil Geniuses.
Well, making it work here without the AWP and the FAMAS. So far, so good. But you still got Cynic to worry about, and Rush could get caught off here. He has to be really careful.
I think he heard some footsteps, so he's actually going in towards ramp. It's going to be a really strong position. Cynic's not anticipating him here. And there's the cleanup. That's the bomb, and that's the kill on the last. So Op's going to be retrieved. That's a really good round for the Evil Geniuses.
Fantastic. Yeah, making me eat my words. Well done, EG. Taking a second round. Nouns not really showing much in that one, but they will have plenty of cash to work with. It's going to be AKs across the board. Do we get the op? No. They do not want the AWP out, even though they could have afforded it. And I think it benefits their style of play here, especially on that T side, as they like to go aggressive, as we've seen time after time. Flashbangs are going to get tossed out here. Already Carson is at the top of the mid. He's going to spam that smoke, making sure no one is behind it, and also toss the nade. In the meantime, a couple of players working their way into the B apartments. Nouns poking around the entire map and looking for something. And at the very least, they will have mid control, which EG is again ceding to them.
That's a meaty nade. That's a meaty nade on Marky. It's going to be a critical piece here. They're emphasizing this fight catwalk, giving up a lot of space towards site proper. But the smoke's now faded. Tough spot for Nouns. Another salvo of utility. The flashbangs are good, but Rush is better. And George, I mean, it's a collapse on mid. That was perfect. That's exactly what EG were hoping for. As soon as that execute started for Nouns, they collapsed the trap. Yes, the bomb goes down. Defending it, that's going to be a tough ask. You've even got Rush now flanking through the apartment, so every direction is going to be under threat here. So now, what do they got? They need a kill, and they're running out of time. They're running out of space. B-Wills finds one. A second? Oh my goodness, the damage looked promising, but it's not to be. The round will go the way of the Geniuses.
Yeah, if B-Wills gets that first a little bit sooner before his teammate goes down, maybe, just maybe, he's able to clutch that out. But because he's the last one standing against 3 players, just didn't have enough in the tank. And EG do indeed find that third. But Rush, what a great way to start that round, getting 3 frags onto the Noun squad. And then, well, I mean, they got onto the B site. It was a nice little pincer, as we saw, into mid. But even though the bomb goes down for Nouns, it's not enough to take it. So at least it gives them a little extra cash in their bank accounts with AKs coming through across the board. If you look at the Mirage stats for both these teams over the last 3 months, definitely favoring Nouns as you're looking at them over the last 3 months. 23 games played, 13 wins, actually make that 15 wins, and 8 losses and a plus 62 round differential. They're also on a 3-game winning streak and did play Mirage in the BO1 qualifiers for Gamers 8 and won both of those maps. That's the one they defeated the other Evil Geniuses team on.
They did indeed. So if EG win here by the transitive property, I'll let you fill in the blanks there.
Yeah.
Slow round out from Nouns. Minute on the clock and no bloodshed. Is this the Nouns team we're used to? Not quite. They have gained mid control off of utility usage. There's a little bit of blood. Okay. Oh, the appetite's whetted. That's a great kill from George. Now go back for the second as well. Dropping the bomb. Yes, he loses his life, but this information's so valuable. Damage doubly so. Spam coming through from Catwalk. There's 2 players here, but they need to get away. Something that Nouns recognizes. Smoke up to try and guarantee this plant. It will be allowed to them. It's definitely risky knowing that there's presence on the Catwalk, but to get away with it, and Markey, who can't capitalize on the opportunity. It's left to B-Wills. Most of this work, Cynic so low. B-Wills has to be the hammer of this, and now he truly is alone. His position compromised. Of eyes to watch, but he goes ahead with the first kill. Almost finds something onto Junior. But in this case, it will be EG again. Counter-terrorists win.
So, money situation not looking too great here for Nouns, Mike, as we're tied up at 4-4, but Nouns still want to invest here. It's going to be 3 Galils, 2 AKs up against an op, an AK, and 3 M4s. So Evil Geniuses are going to push up here.
Still there, right? They've kept these rounds close enough. And it's not built up yet for the Evil Geniuses. It's something that we saw on Inferno when EG were running those rounds back. They were still under enough pressure that once it broke through, things got tough. George can try and take initiative. Yeah, that flashbang is killer, but it's a 1-for-1.
Whoa.
And Walco, oh my goodness, swings out, clears out the top of mid. Give him a broom, because he's just swept them off of this map.
Yeah, and off of their feet. Walco, nicely done. We talked about this before, but when Walco starts to play well, you know that's trouble for any opponent that EG is up against, because that means that things are flowing well for the Evil Geniuses. Nouns, well, they're finally relegated down to pistols only. It will be deagles across the board and a little bit of armor coming through for Carson, B-Wills, and Cynic, but in terms of util, extremely light. Only a smoke and a flashbang available for them, and they don't want to use it too early. Junior spots out CJ, takes him down. Rush has a B-Wills barbecue, and then George has a Carson barbecue. So lots of Molotov frags coming through here as Cynic and Marky are the last 2 standing, and it's only 20 seconds into the round.
Is indeed. See what they can do in the next 20 seconds. Waiting around to see if they're going to get any opportunities here. For the moment, survey says no. Light tags on a marquee, and spam will find their mark. So no Cynic. Please, Cynic. Not going to peek window. Take his time. Again, recognizing that with the amount of damage they've been able to do in previous rounds, economic damage does matter here, because now we see the EG Bank really start to build. They've squirreled away a bit of cash, but here's where that could turn into a whole lot of returns. There was just no escape. Junior puts him down, calm, cool, collected with the one tap from the USP. And Evil Geniuses pad their lead to 2.
Yeah, but Nouns will have a buy-up here. As you mentioned, though, it's fantastic for EG not to lose a body, regardless of the fact that was an eco for Nouns, because their money starts to flow in a very big way, so they have a buy-up in the bank. They've also got the lead, like you mentioned, 2 rounds up ahead of this Nouns squad. Let's see if Nouns can strike back. Haven't run the op at all on the Nouns side just yet. Mirage, and look at this. Carson's got the opener. George gets a little too antsy pushing up. We mentioned it. Evil Geniuses like to collapse on mid a lot, but it goes awry in certain situations. That is Valko also down, but Hex gets the trade at the very least. There's still a man down, and Marky's just full sending himself to the B site, which is vacant. Junior watching with the AWP from window. Could find Marky, and Marky realizes that someone might be watching, so he just shows his shoulder, trying to bait out a shot. It doesn't happen, then throws a perfect Molotov to clean up the space and allow Nouns to get the bomb plant.
Bomb down. An advantage in it. Well, the money's not exactly dire. We have seen Evil Geniuses take many a conservative financial decision. And with rush loss, well, that will certainly confirm it. Market taken here. This round is over. Nouns back at the board.
Uh-oh.
Back on it, rather, at what could have been their breaking point. Cynic, goodbye. Yeah, could be here on the flank. Oh, gone. Junior out of play. Save, and he will not be able to do so.
Well, I mean, look, Evil Geniuses. Oh, whoa. CJ goes down to the bomb right at the very end, so that means he has to reinvest in this round. A little more costly than Nouns would have liked, but on the other side, very costly. Evil Geniuses have to buy up across the board, and I mean, yes, we mentioned that they had the money built up, but they would have much rather had the op into this round. They just didn't realize that B-Wills had snuck in on their flank to get his 13th frag, leading the scoreboard for his team and the server, as Nouns are trying to tie things up at 6 here. Evil Geniuses, again, going for that early peek out of mid. Walco around the edge of the smoke. In fact, the Molotov goes right into it. He's flashed out as well, but he doesn't really have to worry about his positioning. Oh no, pulls up the Utah at the wrong time. He goes down, so does Hex. Again, a quick 5v3 in favor of Nouns. George tries to return the favor, but he also gets caught out with Util, gets the gun out, fires up a few shots, but Carson takes care of him. Junior waiting at connector, hoping for a response. Fires the shot too early and gets collapsed on by Carson. 5v1.
Cracks forming here. At this point, Rush just trying to figure out which hole he can hide in, and the answer is not sure there's going to be one. Nouns will certainly delay this plant to give themselves a better chance to hunt. It's such a tough situation for Rush to be in. Actually, they'll just commit to getting the round. Not going to worry as much about taking this one gun out. They recognize the opportunity that this holds.
Yeah. Also, their economy isn't that great, so it's good to save the guns here and not hunt too aggressively. Man, what a clean sweep, though. Carson, great work up mid.
Terrorists win.
Rush seems to have just slipped a gap here. He's going to live. So with that gun found, yeah, I don't think they can justify putting something around this, but they might be able to justify some upgrades. Junior's got some cash to spare.
Man, but he needs the op. You don't have to spend too much here. Yeah.
We'll keep the money relatively healthy, relatively spruced up. And otherwise, there's not much around it, just USPs. So, not expecting much out of this round unless Rush can find the hero play. And that, I mean, look, 7 rounds T-side alone, pretty prime opportunity. Nouns have really done a good job here on Mirage.
That's what they did against EG. The main EG squad as well. Rush gonna
It's
get
still
the opening
against
headshot.
EG, John. What do you mean against
yes.
EG? It's always against EG.
It's just different
And
players.
Rush might be the evilest of the geniuses. 2 huge kills already. That gun can be retrieved by Hacks. Now, suddenly, we've got a round on our hands. And what was looking to be a triumphant moment for Nouns is anything but. As they just continue to get isolated into these fights, they're not even getting to pull the trigger back. They're getting destroyed here.
The only good news is that the guns are out of reach for EG, but at this point, you got 2 rifles against 2 rifles, so look at him unless Cynic connects here, and he doesn't! Miss shot! Oh my goodness! You gotta be kidding me!
Wow, not a kill going back the other way, barely any damage going back the other way. Evil geniuses are thanking their lucky stars, or maybe just thanking Rush. 2 huge entries to open up that round. And now, what was looking to be a dire half for them could still easily recover into a 9-6.
Wouldn't be too shabby at all. I mean, that was ridiculous. You only have 2 rifles carried over, but it's enough to do the damage because Nouns continue to try and fight into them. Perhaps thinking that everyone had rifles on the EG side and miscalculating the economy. Who knows? But now Walco and the rest of EG pinching in towards mid. Cynic's waiting for it. He ends up getting traded, but a good flashbang thrown by CJ allows Carson to re-peek it, and it's an advantage again and a 2-man edge in favor of Nouns. Junior and Rush, the last 2 standing. Man, this has been crazy in terms of the swings back and forth.
Rush. Can you be that swing again? Sight, but oh, Peebles is ready for it. I thought the positioning might catch him off guard, but he didn't know whether to look for the jungle player or the palace player. Splitting the difference comes out worse for the Ware. Junior slips past. Plenty of money to justify going for this, so shouldn't be hesitation in Junior's mind. They're not going to give him the fight. Not easily, at least. Carson's already slipped back in towards market. He's actually thinking he's on the hunt. And as time slips by, I'm starting to believe that he's right about it.
Yeah. Junior doesn't really have to save here because there's money, but he's going to get B-rolls, and in fact, he's going to get taken down more than likely. There it goes. So, Junior gets fragged by Carson. Position given away. Tied up 7-7. What a turnaround by Nouns after losing in such a decisive way against just the saved rifles and pistols. They come back and get themselves an important round victory, which means we're going to be as close as we can possibly get going to the second half.
And I mean, that's just a phenomenal result for Nouns, right? Headed to the more favored CT side. This is what they're looking for. EG in a tough spot, regardless of what happens in this last round. Aggression up the underpass now means the player is stuck, and they know it. Junior gets 1, but the trade is swift. No hesitation from Cynic. And now let's press it against the connector fight. But the op is going through the smoke. That's insanity. Okay. And George will punish his hubris.
Carson.
Well, okay. Now it's just Martin, who's going to catch one at the very least, can recover the bomb, but at the cost of so much of his health. Just going for that bomb. George is ready to punish. 8 rounds for the geniuses as we head to the half. Live and back in the server here for what could be the final half of play. Nouns were looking hot at various points in that half, but EG still protect a slim lead. And right now, they're protecting a vacant bomb site, projecting into it. B-Wills will slide in for a little bit more of a potential fight. And there's contact. There's the util. And there's 3 bodies here already ready for the fight. A gap perhaps in that smoke. That's the bomb drop. Problems now as it goes towards the bench. But it can be retrieved. The bomb can be planted, though they will be 1 man down for the defense. And look at Cynic. Look at how fast he's been on this flank. This is going to be huge. They need to hold on to Marky if they're going to have any hope of this defense, and Marky will deny that to him. Marky and CJ shutting it down. It's all in a rush. All on to rush, and he will have no more mercy. This was a slaughter.
Cleanest pistol round so far for Nouns, who are 4-0 on pistol rounds here throughout this series, and they're going to tie it up 8-8. Ay. Evil Geniuses need to find a pistol somewhere in there, because every single time they're losing it, Nouns are converting rounds. So we'll see if the same story is told here. Bomb at least gets planted for EG this time, so that means they're going to be able to get the rifles out immediately. How many is another question. It looks like 3. 2 Galils, the AK, a Tech 9 for George with full util, and Junior with the util as well in the Mac 10. On the other side, it is M4s for Nouns. They managed to get everyone onto that M4. A few A1Ss, some A4s in the mix. And Wills and CJ are going to get into a crossfire here. CJ gets one, but B-Wills dead. Oh man, that means CJ's gone as well. Hex getting the spam through the box, and now Evil Geniuses have a sight, maybe. Cynic trying to close the gap. Marky and Carson are close behind, and Cynic gets the bomb drop there over at Tetris. Excuse me, no, just the body. The bomb is somewhere else.
Oh my goodness, a massive response there. And now it's all just onto a wounded Junior. It really came down to Hex being unable to punish the player, burning by default. That's a wild missed opportunity. Junior's going to try a desperation play. Just breaking, trying to get a bomb plan here, trying to get anything that he can defend. And he's thunderfooting it. A minute on the clock. He's got plenty of time, but he's just going to race, hoping that he beat the rotations. And unfortunately for him, Carson was wise to that one.
Wow, that was crazy. It felt like EG had an opening, but Nouns were so quick to rotate. 3 bodies coming through, and then Cynic gets an important one towards Tetris, and afterwards the rest of his teammates take care of business, and they leave only Junior standing with no choice but to try and send it to the B site with so little health, and Carson has the read. They split up their forces, 1 on each bomb site, saying, you know what, we at least got to make sure that this guy doesn't get a bomb plant for free, and he gets nothing. 9-8 in favor of Nouns. Junior trying to get a Deagle headshot, but instead he just immolates in that Molotov, and now we have a 5v4 where Evil Geniuses don't really have that much space gained. I say that, but look where Hex is in the apartments. It's only being watched by Carson. So if they smoke off window here, maybe they got a chance. The problem is there's no smoke, no util, it's just pistols for them.
Hex is a goner.
Yeah.
And with it, I mean, no real estate whatsoever to operate with. They're just holding for a top mid push. This is the only play they've got left. They've lost their periphery players. There's a minute on the clock, but EG just have nothing to work with. Just a full hope and pray that someone gets a little antsy. And the problem is, even if they do, it's going to be Cynic. He's got a USP. Nothing to gain for them. Now he spotted them. Now he's got the fight. Now he's going to maybe call for teammates to come in. See if they can't swing together. The envelope gets pushed back just that little bit further. And Marky will even catch a kill, robbing Carson blind of those precious egos. So, of course, Carson's going to swing now. See, you can smell that ego. You can taste it. And now he's got 2 of his own.
Oh, my goodness. Just like a shark with blood in the water. Smells it, and he's got to go out and take that fight. 10 to 8. Get him his. Yeah, 10-8 for Nouns. And again, you know, Nouns get the pistol round, the 2-round conversion off of it. And now they're up 10-8. 6 rounds more for Nouns, and they'll be able to take this series 2-0 for the first time over their last 2 BO3s. agree. EG as Junior gets the headshot onto CJ, 5v4. From B-Wills, and the follow-up frag as well. He could even get a third here if Rush isn't careful. Look at B-Wills go. He's swinging wide. He gets the third.
What a round from B-Wills. He has climbed to the top of the board. Been the chunk plays, been the flash plays for B-Wills here on Mirage, and this was a great one as well. What a way to respond to losing the opening pick, to losing a CJ. Just immediately gets the util, no hesitation, knowing exactly the positioning they're in, and punishing them every step of the way. That's a phenomenal bit of awareness and response.
Especially after Junior gets the opener, too.
Yeah. Bombs down, so they know they've got that to defend. Cynic applying pressure. Haxed on the catwalk, leaves the wall go. All of them.
Yeah. What do you do here?
Die, mostly.
Yeah, I mean, you got full loss bonus, but yeah, even the kit doesn't make a difference.
You gonna give it a try? Damage matters. Possible to win this round. Nouns do love to extend. Walko would be the most impressive round yet, and instead, it remains B-Wills' triumph.
Yeah, Walko has to go for that fight. Like I said, you know, even calculating the AK and the 2 pieces of util he had in the armor, it's just, I mean, barely worth saving. So instead, he goes for the fight, does some damage, not really that much at all, and no real problems here for Nouns to reinvest as they take a 3-round lead, and Evil Genius is going to have to settle for a half buy, although it does feature a decent chunk of util and 3 Tech 9s. So let's see if they try to go for a quick play, which is not exactly very common from EG, but it looks like they're going to be setting up for that here. Yeah, flashbang thrown for mid. They're trying to attract attention there, and it works. 3 players from Nouns collapsing there. Leaving CJ perhaps a little exposed, but only briefly, because, you know, it won't take long for those other 3 to rotate and help him. And they've already got 2 coming back. EG, the window of opportunity to get into this A site appears to be closing, and yeah, Cynic is shutting the door decisively in their face with 2 frags. CJ is going to flick up for a third as well here, Mike.
Not shutting the door. He's got their fingers in the hinges as well. Rush somehow hits 2 ripping dig shots. Oof. Which is cool. Extra style points, Rush. But probably it won't matter in the long run. I guess it's a little bit of economic damage, but there's plenty of cash. There's 0 concerns. Likely we're going to see the op out for Cynic in this round. And this, for EG, is going to be their best chance of making this a competitive game. You got the full gun round. Now they need to deliver.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Mike, in that first half, it felt like neither team could really get much momentum with the way the round swung back and forth, especially towards the latter part of it. But now Nouns, who have been the team to really take control more often than not on both maps, have done it here on Mirage, getting 5 in a row. And leaving Evil Geniuses stuck on 0 rounds here in the second half. They need to crack that scoreboard soon. Haven't even needed the op on the downside at all.
No. And I'll stick to it. Stick to what's working. Faster, responsive plays. Made on, but it was for the top box as opposed to the top mid. And yeah, I mean, they're getting aggressive off of it. Cynic's pushing the envelope.
Junior's holding the angle.
This time, we've seen them try and hold this before. They know the predilections of this Nouns side, but fight does come this way. There's going to be a popper for it. Oh, Cynic nearly at the lineup. Marky will instead. Uh-oh. Still a 2-for-1 special. Rush gets one back. This is looking like a meat grinder in towards mid. Fortunate that HE didn't come out. That was expected.
Info.
Did. Wild on the reposition, but he'll avoid getting caught. And trying to toss the bomb up, they've actually both left it alone. Here on the edge. Oh, shot goes wide. Shot misses. But he's stuck. He's stuck. He doesn't have a smoke to get out of this. So now he knows. And they know. Is Molotov. Rush is bringing that to bear, and Junior, great read. Catches Carson, knowing he'd be trying to bail out his teammate. With Carson now gone, George recognizes that that's the B-side defender out. And he slips in to fill the gap. B-Will seems to be aware that a player could be bench. He's got the read, so it's a little bit of a response here, and that's a great call. I don't know whether he saw something, whether it's just purely knowing that with Carson gone, they try and fill the space, but Junior relieves the pressure. Problem is, he's the only one. He just doesn't have time. Just doesn't have time, John. He's got to sprint this. He's got to hit this no scope, and he's going to do so! 3 seconds to spare. No chance at the bomb plant, but Junior keeps their hopes alive.
Oh my goodness, I was about to say, Juniors look pretty mortal, pretty vulnerable here. Nouns has done a good job of isolating him, but in that round, well, he became unleashed, and he gets the no-scope right at the tail end after doing a lot of damage with the op before that. And he's up to 17 frags, leading the server, in fact tied with Cynic. Man, oh man, it couldn't have come at a better time for EG because they just couldn't find a way onto the scoreboard. And it looked like time was going to run out, but B-Will's, he just got stuck, right? Because he was taking the fights, realizes where Junior is, and knows that there's no time to plant the bomb. But if he goes out in the wrong direction, Junior would have killed him anyway. Now CJ's in a really good spot. Pushed up aggressively. He gets one, does a ton of damage to the other. And I mean, it just feels like Nouns don't really get down on themselves at all after losing those types of rounds.
I mean, certainly in this situation, they shouldn't. Money's still plenty good. It came down to a 1v1 clutch,
it's
you
just
know.
The aggression.
Everything's in your favor.
They continue pushing the envelope.
They got one gear. Fight. That actually definitely used to be the case. They've integrated a few other gears here.
For sure.
They still do like the fight gear.
I mean, it works for them, right?
It certainly does. Hard to contend with when they're applying pressure. If they're hitting, and they are hitting. Lining up some smokes for an A exec. There are 3 players close at hand, so it's not a bad situation for Nouns at all, especially as Cynic gets closer on Catwalk. And here's going to be the immediate response. Flashbangs are decent, but is there enough distraction for the lower player to strike? And indeed there is. This triangle defense is deadly. Marky might be stuck here in the sandwich, but it's just Junior, and he's just trying to bail and keep his gun alive, and Cynic is not going to be allowing that. Not at all. Oh, 13 found. The money in a shambles, and Cynic says, you know what? Fine. I'll take the free op. He even thought about it. He's like, yeah. Do I want to op? Yeah, sure. Why not? It's free.
I mean, things are going so well with the rifles, right? You're like, I don't know. Do I want to go for the sniper rifle? And finally, well, he does. Cynic is very good with it. Just that the M4 has been doing him so very good in terms of the frags. Alrighty, well, let's see what you got, Cynic, up against the pistols here. It's going to be 2 Tech 9s, 2 Deagles, and the P250. Nouns, after it looked like perhaps EG would be threatening for a couple in a row, they isolate that lone round victory and take their 6th of this second half. 3 more and we're done.
Smoking towards mid. Precious little utility. 2 smokes being deployed for this mid control. This is a lot of what they got. Seems like this is going to be an A take. 2 remaining smokes, a single Molotov, not even flashes to try and get over the lip.
Ooh.
First player spotted, and that Molotov is stuck here in towards mid. It's been expended. Not getting a lot of value out of this utility just yet. Help. George, though. Okay, an opener. CJ dancing around default. Ooh, taken down. This is a little bit frisky, John. More so than we expected, but the op on the angle, there's nothing to take it off of it. Cynic doesn't connect, but Carson does. Op not serving its purpose, but Carson's M4 certainly is. And now it's all on a Junior who's just desperately trying to get this bomb down. A fact he will accomplish.
Oh my goodness.
This is winnable, Marky. May get nervous, it may get scary. I'll make sure it's not around when.
I was gonna say, maybe just leave the op on the ground. That's It's got scarier in that round with the op than without in the previous ones. But anyway, 14th round does come through. Junior almost clutches out. I believed when he hit that P250 headshot that he could come around and get another one, but it just doesn't happen. And I mean, for EG, that was an eco round for them that they managed to get the bomb plant in. That means their buy-up is going to be pretty solid. In fact, they'll get everything they could possibly want. They need it too, because time and rounds are running out for them. Nouns are 1 away from clinching at least overtime, and 2 from ending this series a lot sooner than I personally expected, Mike, because I was predicting 3 from the beginning. Maps, that is. As a Molotov sails in towards window, and Cynic is already down to 61 HP. Leave a nade connected on him. Junior peeking out from the apartments. He wants to catch this info hopper, and he fires a shot, perhaps a little bit too early. Carson, realizing that, is likely going to toss some util in. He does, and he calls for Marky to come on over. Oh, but that might be exactly what Evil Geniuses wants.
Nice skipper of a nade early on. Oh, and Cynic's found Hex a little bit early. Utility hadn't yet deployed, but the trade is swift. Good find from Junior. He keeps this round in whack. Getting out of hand. Marky wants to fight. Marky wants to fight. That was B-Wills getting a little bit overzealous, perhaps. They advise Marky's here to win in ladder, rather. Ooh, they know now. But he still got it all off the ladder. The movement tech is beautiful. It's brilliant. And with it, with that tasty bit of maneuvering, Marky may have just secured for them map and series point. What do you got, George? You got 30 seconds to show us. Those mechanics are just disgusting. That's beautiful.
I mean, yeah. Come out here and get nothing. CJ, the headshot, and that's 15 for Nouns. I mean, look, we've seen individual performances from pretty much every player on the roster. I think everyone has at least a 3K. Marky for sure, CJ as well, B-Wills and Carson. I think Cynic's the only one that might not, but I'm pretty sure he just got one here on Mirage. So yeah, I mean, unbelievable stuff. Even when EG's had the edge, which they absolutely did there, Marky comes around and just puts on a clinic of movement and crosshair placement. Wow. Timeout going to be called here almost certainly by EG, because Nouns has no reason to pause. As EG needs 6 in a row just to push this into OT.
Don't you use that word. Don't you even say it. Don't you even say it. Let's see if the recovery can be on here. I mean, after that Marky round, I just feel like that has to have been the soul snatching for the Evil Geniuses, but they still got the money, so let's see if they still got the fight. That it's going to be a major missed opportunity for sure, but there are still potentially 6 more that must be seized. An empty B site and a faster play out from the Evil Geniuses. This is a 3-man ramp push, and they're seeing nothing. They're seeing nothing, and they see nothing top mid. So at what point do they say, this is a B play, someone's got to rotate over? Because they're just playing full retake at this point. Rush setting up top mid. Smoke might get caught. No, he's away from it. And now they have to know. They have to know. Where else could it be? Cynic's come back around. He's got the off here on the angle, but he's going to be smoked off. B-Wills has caught that flank, caught that lurker. Look at that damage now coming through, and this flank is going to be so swift. It's all about Junior. What's he got? Nothing. He's got nothing. They're getting torn asunder. The bomb's not even down yet, John, and 3 bodies are on the dirt. Finally, the plant in. Finally, a response. It's all about Hex, and that might be enough.
What?
That might be enough. How on earth have they pulled this back? It's all about Hex.
It looked over. It was done. Nouns just needed to take down Walco and Hex. Walco in the open, but Hex just says, hold my beer. I will take care of this. Unbelievable stuff coming through from him. A 4K out of seemingly nowhere, and EG is back to life on Mirage. 10 rounds for them, and Nouns don't have the money to reinvest into this round. They will force up. They'll get some body armor, Cynic with the head armor, but it's 4 pistols and only a 1S. Not to say that Nouns can't pull this off still, but EG, it's a good chance for them to pull off an 11th here and start a bit of a run for themselves, which, again, they absolutely need. Junior connects on the marquee. Man, what a play for Hex.
Just unbelievable. Hex and Walko in a 2v4. Unbelievable. And Walko continuing it up here with 2 big kills. I mean, both of them have had quiet maps, right? Bottom of the board. Still, even after that round, but what a time to come alive. In the clutch. Now an eco out for this one, and I mean, this is now looking like a very real chance for EG to run it back.
Unreal stuff.
You had to say the word, John.
I mean,
Had to say it.
I'm just stating facts here.
No. Don't you try and play this off. I know what you're doing.
I'm playing it off.
You voodoo wizard. All right, nothing happened in this round. As expected.
Yeah.
So we are going to get a 15-12 line, and Rush is having some extra fun with it. Shooting bodies through boxes. It's the next level of BM.
On that previous map, Mike, they broke the record of 28 or more rounds for 6 maps in a row with only 26, which is still quite a bit. But here they're trying to get back on that stat line, Mike. That's the goal from EG. Want to get those 28 rounds.
Over there, 27
Nouns.
right now. This is
Yep.
the 28th. So that is at least confirmed. And again, light presence towards the B site, and that seems to be where they want to execute. They've detected a weakness. Let's see if they've managed to reinforce. Carson with 1. Looking for more, spots the player, and this is the shutdown now. 3 huge kills come through. Reinforcements are here. Bombs committed out the window as well, and that's a big problem. Walko down right into the grinder, and it's all onto Junior. This could be the end. Come to a shuddering halt here. Can Junior kickstart it back into action? Under pressure. Molotov to secure him at least one front in this fight. Very flank. He's so panicked here and all over the B site. Go Nouns. So they've done it. They've closed it in 2. They have secured a swifter broadcast for us and the 2-0 for themselves, and likely the 1 seed. Actually, no,
not
definitely.
likely, yes.
100%. The 1 seed in this group.